So we are going to start today in a seated position. If you find it's a little easier to have a cushion to sit on, go ahead and do that. And we're going to grab our band just to kind of help with some of that breath work focus. So I'm going to be sitting with my legs crossed, but if you feel like it's a little bit better to have your legs out in front of you, you go right ahead and find the position that feels best. And then we're going to take our band and if you can, so try and keep it wide. This is probably one of the trickiest parts, is just making sure the band stays wide. And you're going to bring it kind of right around the bottom of your rib cage and wrap it around. So what you want to do is feel like you've got a nice broad band that you're going to breathe into. So it might even be just like kind of a little below your bra line. And this is just going to give us some really nice feedback for our breath, which is really good for getting that diaphragm working and connecting more deeply into our core. So you're just going to cross the band in front and then just kind of grab on, I don't know, I'm grabbing on without pulling tension. It's about like 5 or 6 inches away from the little X. And then I just want you to kind of tuck your elbows into your side and have your arms rested out front. And then we're going to just start with our breath. So I want you to feel like you're breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And as you breathe in, I want you to feel the rib cage expand into the band. And as you exhale, just let the air escape. So as you're breathing, I want you to notice, can you get more air to come into the lower part of your rib cage and maybe a little less into the top? But right now, we're just kind of more focusing on kind of a nice big full breath, breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. I like to do this with my eyes closed because then I can really feel where the air is going. And let's try that 2 more times, breathing in. Make sure you have a little bit of tension on the band so you can feel that pressure into the band with your ribs. And as you exhale, that pressure is going to help let the air escape by kind of closing the ribs. And 1 more time, breathing in and then out. So now we're going to add a little bit of movement from our arms. So I want to just make sure that your elbows are not way far back here, that your elbows are just slightly forward. So we're going to add a little external rotation of the arms. So this is a really great way to strengthen the back of the shoulder and feel like you're opening up a little bit through the front. So we're going to start off, take a nice big focused breath in. And now as you exhale, I want you just to lightly externally rotate your arms. You're rotating, you're moving your hands further away from each other. So you're going to feel that tightening of the band around your ribs. As you inhale, you're just going to bring your arms back to their center spot. And then exhale, you're rotating. And inhale, bringing your arms back around to the center. So big thing here is when you're rotating, I'm going to turn backwards. What I don't want you to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your shoulder blades nice and stable and just have the movement come from the back of your shoulder. Okay, inhale forward. Let's do that 2 more times. And not a big, strong grip in your hands. I just have my forefinger and my thumb just lightly gripping the band. And then back to center. And 1 more time. Rotating out, feeling that exhale, inhale, back to center. So we're just really starting to warm up those shoulders. So now we're going to take the band and bring it up around our shoulder blades. And now if you want, maybe uncross your legs and then cross them over the opposite way. So now we want the band to be fairly flat if you can. Bring it around the back of your shoulders soften your elbows and then just kind of grab the band where your elbows are bent gently and it's kind of taut. And then you're going to bring everything out in front of you. Now, some of you might find it easier to have the band coming under. Actually, let's all do that. Let's all have the band coming underneath our arms. I think it's probably going to help hold it in the right spot a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to reach your arms out in front of you, and I want you to have some tension on the band, but not a crazy amount of tension. And here's where we're going to get those shoulder blades moving. So this is your protraction, retraction move. So as you inhale, I want your shoulder blades to broaden across the back and then come back to neutral. Exhale. Let's inhale, shoulder blades come forward. And exhale back to neutral. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of feel the tension of the band, keep your spine nice and straight so we don't want any rounding of the spine, and then just come back to neutral. We're going to do that 3 times. So this is a great way to get those stabilizing muscles underneath the shoulder blades to work. And again, inhale forward and then back to neutral. And one more time, inhale forward, back to neutral. So now we're going to go into our retraction. So let's just hold this, take a breath in and exhale. I want you to draw the shoulder blades together, and that's actually going to help shorten the band, kind of release the tension. And then back to neutral. Arms are staying fairly straight. We're going to draw the shoulder blades together and then back to neutral. You can see it's not a big movement. Shoulder blades come together and back to neutral. I don't know about you, mine are already starting to fatigue a little bit. 2 more times, together and neutral. And one last time, draw them together. And then now we're going to go all the way forward. So let's inhale forward, exhale all the way back. This is such a great way to really strengthen these muscles. All the way forward. And all the way back, keeping your body nice and stable, all the way forward and all the way back. And one more time, all the way forward and all the way back. Let's lower our arms down. Woo! You can kind of feel that. So without the band, we're just going to do a little elevation and depression. So bringing your arms overhead, but just slightly forward. So I don't want them way back by your ears, just slightly forward. And we're going to inhale, let the shoulder blades rise, and exhale, let the shoulder blades lower. Inhale, shoulder blades up, and exhale, shoulder blades down. A lot of us live in this position with our shoulder blades up by our ears. And then I want you just to feel what it's like to try and bring them down away from your ears. And your neutral position is actually just a little above from that. Let's try that again. So all the way up, all the way down, and then just release it. And one more time, all the way up, all the way down, and then release, and then lower your arms down. So that's going to hopefully help you to feel, even if you just let your arms hang by your side, what you might feel already is just almost like I have this kind of sense of like openness underneath my armpits. Can you guys kind of feel that a little bit? Like your arms feel like they're kind of slung in that shoulder blade area. So now we're going to do, so Catherine, I guess this will be a little test to see if you're okay on your knee. And if not, then you might just want to come into a standing position to do kind of a standing cat. We're going to just go into a kneeling cat, but you could always just take the back of your chair. I'm just going to show Catherine here. You could always put your hands on the back of your chair and then round your back and lengthen out. So if you're feeling coming on your knees isn't great, give that a try. But just to make sure in our cat stretch that we're not just getting the movement coming from our upper back, like a lot of us will just do lots of upper back and not a lot of lower back. I actually want you guys to take this band and bring it back around just below your bra line. So we can try and see if when we're in this quadruped position, we're going to have the bands underneath our hands. if we can't get some of that movement to come more from the lower back. All right, so I just have my band taut here. It's not super tight. And I want you to find your neutral position and then think about your shoulder blade position as well. So let's just do a little retraction. So shoulder blades coming together, a little protraction, shoulder blades way apart, and then find that middle position halfway in between. And you should hopefully find that tension sort of taut on your band. So now we're going to breathe in here. And then as you exhale, I want you to start to blow out, maybe make your sound, an SH sound or a hissing sound. Tuck your pelvis, and I want you to feel your spine pressing into the band. Drop your head down. Now you want to make sure the band is below your bra line. Breathe into that band area. And then as you exhale, lengthen everything out from tail to head. And I'm going to actually tighten my band just a little bit to get a little bit more tension and pressure. So you can adjust accordingly if you feel like you want a little more pressure. Okay, so staying strong through those shoulders, taking a breath in. As you exhale, tuck your pelvis. Really feel like you're pressing your spine into that band and try and tuck your pelvis even more. Breathe into your back body. And as you exhale, lengthening out from tail to head, nice and strong. Your gaze is straight down to the ground. Taking a breath in and exhale, tucking your pelvis, scooping with your core. Feel that pressure into the band and see if you can't hollow out that lower part of your body a little more. Breathe into that lower part. Exhale, lengthening out from tail to head. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathing in and exhale. Find that tension in through the band and your back. Breathe into that area and lengthening out from tail to head. And one more time, taking a breath in. And then exhale into your rounded cat stretch. See if you can't get the best and fullest movement from your low back. Breathing into that area. And then as you exhale, lengthen out from tail to head. All right, so let's just move that band out of the way for a little bit. And grab your blue ball or whichever ball you happen to have with you. And we're going to come onto our back. We'll start off with the ball between your thighs. All right, so now we're just going to use our breath to connect into our core to really feel like we can stabilize the pelvis and also move it a little bit into that imprint. So I want to also clarify the importance of being able to move your pelvis independent of your rib cage. It's going to actually help with low back pain, even neck and shoulder pain, if you can keep your pelvis and your rib cage differentiated from each other. And now if you're finding that this is kind of tricky to do, it's actually a neurologic connection that happens, and over time hopefully it'll get a little bit better. So when we do this in the beginning, we want to just see how it's feeling. So let's just take your hands, put your fingertips on the top of your hip bone and your thumb on the bottom rib, so you kind of have an equal distance on both sides between your ribs and hips. Find that neutral positioning of your pelvis. And we're just going to hold this for a moment and find your breath. So let's take a focused breath in. And then as you exhale, let's maybe make your sound. Then keep your pelvis neutral. Relax your shoulders. Gently squeeze the ball and see if you can't get that nice deep core connection. Try that again. Breathe into the base of your ribs. And then exhale, making your sound, gently squeezing the ball. Keep that connection into your core. Relax your shoulders. Hopefully you're feeling that abdominal connection. So now let's go into a little movement. Let's breathe in, hold the position, release the ball. And as you exhale, gently squeeze the ball. And let's see if we can't allow the top of the pelvis to get heavy and the top of your hips and your ribs kind of get a little closer. So the distance between your finger and your thumb shortens a little bit. As you inhale, allow the pelvis to rock back to neutral, but try to keep your rib cage fairly stable. And then exhale, let the pelvis come into a tuck. So your low back is flattening, your pubic bones curling toward the navel. Inhale, allow the pelvis to go back to neutral. Now, another little tip here is if you're finding any tension in through your neck or your shoulders, you can always lift your head with a little bit of a cushion or a towel, and that might help with this movement as well. So if you know you need that, you can always make sure you have a little cushion or something under your head. So coming into your imprint, little tuck, inhale, back to neutral. And one more time, exhale into your little imprint. And inhale back to neutral. Taking your ball, we're going to go into our hip release and work our pelvis in neutral. So the ball is going to come underneath your foot. We're going to just go into the whole movement this week instead of separating it into components. So now your hands can just rest on top of your pelvis and are going to just work on this right side. So I want you to inhale, allow your right knee to drop down towards the floor and then straighten the leg away. And then rotate the leg so that the toe and the knee are facing up. You can even flex your ankle and exhale, pull the heel towards your bottom. Okay, so your whole foot just rests on the ball the whole time. So inhale, leg comes out and away. And then exhale, rotate and pull in. Come out and away. Just ignore Siri, rotate and come back in. For some reason, my Siri turned on. Out and away, rotate and come back in. So your goal here is to keep your pelvis stable. So if you find as your leg drops that your body tips over, then that core is just having a bit of a hard time activating. So maybe use your sound. Let's try it one more time. Out to the side and away, rotate and pull back in. This is a great way to release those tight hips. Let's switch to the other side. So now we've got the ball underneath your left foot. Pelvis is nice and stable, shoulders are relaxed. So as you inhale, the left knee lowers down and straightens away. And you're going to rotate and pull it back in. So when you pull the leg in, you can flex the ankle if you want. So down to the side and away. And then rotate and pull back in. So I want you to envision that the ball is just on a straight line. So even though your leg lowers, as you straighten the leg, the ball just rolls straight away from you. Rotate the leg and pull everything back in. Let's try that 3 more times. So out to the side and away. Rotate and pull it back in. 2 more times, out and away. Rotate and come back in. And 1 more time, out and away. Rotate and then pull it all the way back in. So now we're going to take that ball and let's just move it out of the way for a second. I'm just going to put mine over my head. And now we're going to challenge our pelvis in imprint. So this is where we're going to go into our toe taps. So if you need any modifications, maybe what we'll do is we'll start with modifications and then we'll work up to toe taps. So let's start in neutral pelvis. And then you guys, if you're finding one is a little too challenging, you can just stay with the one that works best for you. Come into your imprint. And then we're going to just lift one leg up into tabletop and then lower it right back down. So this is the easiest version of this. Keep your pelvis in a tuck. Lift the other leg up and then lower back down. So I want you just to maintain that neutral or that imprint as we go into one leg lifting and lowering. And what I want you to notice is when you're doing this, even if this is something you're super familiar with, does your body switch weight from side to side, or can you keep your body fairly stable? Okay, and one more time with the left one, lifting up and down. So the next version would be to keep your imprint, lift one leg up, find that connection, lift the other leg up, and then you're going to lower one foot down and the other foot down. Maybe even release your to neutral. Come into imprint, lift one leg up, find that connection, lift the other leg up, lower down and down. Release your pelvis back to neutral. Notice what happens here one more time. Do you get a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders when you do this? So into imprint, one leg up, find that connection, other leg up, lower down and down. Okay, so if you're getting a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders, then your core is not working efficiently. So stick with the one if one of these is working better, or follow me to the third option. So into imprint, lift one leg up, find that connection in your core, lift the other one up. Okay, you're going to stay in this tabletop position. Knees are staying at 90 degrees. Use your bum muscle to tap one toe down and lift back up. Tap the other toe down, lift back up. Try not to bend your knee. So I see a few people bending knees. So think thigh bone moving away from your body. Keep your core on. And if you're not able to do this without bending your knee, then you might want to stick with one of the first ones that we just did. Keep that core on. Your pelvis is staying in your imprint. Try one more time on either side. Use your bum to help lower your leg. And last one. Okay, let's lower one foot down and then the other, keeping them onto the floor. Reach over, grab your ball, place it between your thighs. If you have anything underneath your head, you're going to move it out of the way. So gently squeeze the ball with your inner thighs. Remember, we don't want the ball at your knees. I want it just slightly up into your thighs, so it's not at the joint. Bend your knees so that your feet, if you can, your heels are under your knees. If that's too much for your injured knee, Catherine, just put your feet as close as feels comfortable. So we're going to start off in our neutral pelvis. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come into imprint to start. Gently squeeze the ball and then connect into your glutes. Press into your feet to lift your hips, rolling up to your shoulder blades. Keeping those thighs connected on the ball. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly melting down your spine, one vertebrae at a time, gently squeezing the ball all the way. Let's continue with that movement, opening up our hips, taking a breath in. Exhale, squeezing the ball, come into imprint. Press into your feet. Feel that connection into your bottom. As you slowly roll up, can you reach your knees over your toes and really open up those hips? Take a breath in and exhale, slowly lowering down. Don't lose that connection on the ball. I could feel my legs separating. So reminding me to remind you to say this, to do the same. Let's do that again. Breathing in, keep that connection on the ball, come into imprint. Press into your feet, slowly rolling up. Take a breath in at the top. And as you exhale, slowly lowering back down. Finding that nice mobility of your spine. Let's try that a couple more times. Breathing in and exhale. So every time you do this, I want you to feel like your body feels a little more stable, like you're getting a little more openness through your hips, your ribs are staying anchored. And as you lower down, maybe you can try and keep that deeper connection of the inner thighs on the ball, keep your glutes firing. See if you can feel nice and stable as you lower down equally along your spine. And let's try that one more time, breathing in and exhale. Pressing into your feet, slowly reaching your hips to the ceiling, knees over toes, breathing in, and then exhale, coming back down, one vertebrae at a time. Let's take that ball, move it out of the way, and we're just going to lift your knees into your chest and just sort of rock from side to side. Okay, and then we're just going to roll right on over and come back up to a seated position. And grab your band again. I'm going to grab a sip of water. All right, so now we're going to work our spine in rotation a little bit, but also using our band to help just kind of get a little connection in behind our armpits. So sitting cross-legged again, or if you feel better, you can have your legs out in front of you. We're just going to grab the band, holding it out in front of you about chest height. And I want to have a little bit of connection in through this whole back line of the shoulder. So maybe bring your hands in front of you and have the band a little slack. Soften your elbows. I'm just going to show you my elbows are just slightly softened. And then I want you to lead with your pinky and just press out a little bit so you get kind of a tautness with the band. Make sure your band's not way up by your face, but maybe more down level with your chest. So I want you to keep your breastbone and your nose lined up with the middle of the band. We're going to rotate, but I don't want your arms to lead the way. So let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to keep your nose and your breastbone lined up with the center of the band and rotate your ribs to your right. Keep that connection with your band as you inhale and come back to center. And then exhale, rotate to your left. Make sure your arms don't go faster than your rib cage. Inhale, come back to center. This is a little test. Exhale and rotate. Feel like the movement's coming from your spine. I don't want your arms way out to the side here. Keep your arms right in front of your shoulders. Inhale, come back to center. So you want to make sure that you're feeling always like you're kind of punching your arms out and that your armpits and your shoulder blades stay active. When you're rotating to the side, if your arms start to lead the way, what'll happen is the back arm will lose its connection. Come back to center. Let's try that again. Exhale and rotate. We're feeling those arms moving or those shoulders working. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, rotating to the left. Feel those ribs move. Pelvis stays nice and still. Coming back to center. And one last time, you guys, keep that pressure out on the band. Pinkies are leading the way. So keep pressing out the whole time. Pressing, pressing, pressing. Come back to center. Your head is following you, so don't let your arms go further than your head. So your gaze is following the band. And then come back to center and lower those arms down. Oh my gosh, I can totally feel that. All right, so let's do a little forward fold. I'm going to turn sideways. So your legs are going to come out in front of you. They're a little bit wide, so you're a little bit of a V shape. And I want you just to have your hands stacked on your thighs. If this is really uncomfortable and you need to bend your knees to do this, go right ahead and do that. I want you to make sure that you can sit upright. So if you're kind of slouching back and you cannot sit upright, bend your knees to lengthen your body up a little bit, okay? So nice and tall, breathing in. As you exhale, I want you to start to nod your head forward. Flex through your upper back. Let your hands slide towards your feet and come into a little bit of a rounded back, low back. Take a breath into the back area. And as you exhale, restack your spine all the way up. Taking a breath in and exhale, little head nod, rounding forward. Finding that stretch through the back of your body. You can point your toes or flex your ankles. If you flex toes pulling to your knees, you're going to feel more of a stretch in the back of your leg. Breathe into your back body. As you exhale, restack your spine all the way up. And again, breathing in. And exhale, little head nod, folding at the ribs, rounding forward. Your gaze is just straight down to the floor. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lengthen all the way up. And one more time, breathing in. Little head nod, rounding forward. Find that stretch. Take a breath into your back body. Exhale, lengthening all the way back up. Let's grab your band, and we're going to use this to give us a little bit of feedback for our saw. This is called saw. So with this one, I want you to have your arms a little wider. So before we had them out in front, this time I want a little tension wider. And what this is going to do is when we rotate and come forward, I want you to push one hand forward, the other hand back. So you're kind of increasing the tension and you're feeling that rotation and length through your body. Okay. So your arms are going to be pretty wide out to the side. It doesn't need to be huge tension. I just want you to feel like you're reaching. So flex those ankles. Legs can come a little bit wider, nice and tall. You're going to inhale. Let's rotate toward the camera. So just so you can see me, so come toward the camera. Okay. And then as you exhale, I want you to round forward. I want you to push the front arm forward and push the back arm back. So you're getting more tension. Then I want you to restack your spine and come back to a center position. I'm going to give myself a little more tension. Okay, so nice and tall. We're going to rotate away from the camera now. Round forward to reach towards your toes. Push the front arm forward and stretch the back arm back. Increase that tension in the band. Restack your spine. Come back to center. Hopefully this is giving you a little bit of feedback. Rotate toward the camera. Round towards your leg, reach your front arm forward and your back arm behind you. Restack your spine, come back to center. Let's try that again. Rotate away from the camera, round forward towards your leg, punch your front arm forward, your back arm back. Lengthen all the way up, come back to center. One last time on either side. Rotate, grow tall. See if you can go a little further. Round forward, punch back. Lengthen your spine all the way up. Coming back to center. One last one. You guys are doing great. Great. We're going to rotate, round forward. Restack your spine. Come back to center and lower those arms down. Okay. So we're going to go into our half roll back position now. So if you do have a cushion under your hips, you're going to want to turn it lengthwise so you have a little more space behind you, or just get rid of it. And your band now is going to come around your feet. We're going to take this guy. I like to keep it really wide and put it around kind of my toes and then into the ball of my foot. So I've got a really good kind of grip with my band. And then I think it's best for this one to just kind of grab your band. So I've got fingers on top, thumb pointing towards me, and I'm just going to bring my hand onto the band and grab on from the side like a ski pole. I kind of find that movement works a little bit better when we're doing this. It doesn't hurt my hand as much. You can always change it if it feels uncomfortable for you. So arms are going to be out in front. I've got like fists with my knuckles to each other, soft elbows. Nice and tall with your body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to scoop with your core and slowly roll back. Keep your feet still in space and just see how far back you can go. The tension doesn't need to be enormous here. Take a breath into your back body. As you exhale, we're going to round that shape forward over your thighs. You're going to lose tension in your band. Restack your spine from bottom to top. This is like doing kind of short box on the reformer, if anybody remembers doing that. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come into a little tuck, slowly rolling back as far as you can, breathing into the back body. As you exhale, maintain your shape round all the way forward. You're going to lose the tension in your band. Restack your spine from bottom to top. Let's do that a couple more times. Exhale, your hands are just at chest height the whole time, tucking and rolling, using that core. Breathe into your back body. As you exhale, we're going to round that shape forward. Lengthen everything up. And one more time, breathing in. Exhale, tucking and rolling back. Breathing into your back body. Exhale, round the whole shape forward. Restacking the spine from bottom to top. So now we're going to add in a rotation. Sorry, let me just check the arms. I think what we can probably do is keep the hands in the same shape. And when we rotate, you're going to feel like you're pulling your elbow back. Okay, and both sides, pull the elbow back, but we're going to target those abdominal muscles. Jill, hopefully this is feeling okay on your arm. All right. Okay, so nice and tall again, taking a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to roll back to a position where you feel you can comfortably stay. Take a breath in again, and as you exhale, rotate to the camera like you're pulling your elbow back. The other one stays in front. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, rotate the opposite way, pull your elbow back. Inhale, come back to center. Let's do one more time on either side. Exhale, rotate back with the first arm and back to center. So we're working kind of the back of the shoulder here. And again, rotate away, back to center. Take a breath in. As you exhale, rounding everything forward, lose the tension in the band, lengthen all the way up. We're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to start by rotating to the second direction first this time. So away from the camera. So nice and tall with your body, breathe in. As you exhale, we're going to lower down, keep the arms together, take a breath in. As you exhale, rotate away from the camera, pull the elbow back, keep the other hand in the front. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rotating around. Inhale, come back to center. Keeping your body nice and stable on the lower part, rotating on the upper part, and back to center. And one more time, rotate and back. Take a breath in. Exhale, rounding everything forward, lengthening all the way back up. All right, let's move this little band away. Move our cushion out of the way. And we're going to go into a nice little sequence that's kind of new, that ties in with sort of a melt move, and we're kind of taking it into a Pilates sequence. This is called isometric abdominal work. And what this means is, so here's a little anatomy term. Isometric is when we engage a muscle, but it doesn't change in length. So for example, if we do a bicep curl and we curl in, we're contracting the muscle and causing the muscle to shorten. But if you were to just hold a position and contract the muscle without changing anything in movement, that's called isometric. So this is going to be a way to challenge our core. And some of you might recognize this to be similar to core challenge in melt if you've done melt with me. All right, so come onto your back. If you like having a little cushion underneath your head, you're welcome to add a little towel or a cushion under your head, nothing too big. And we're going to find imprint here. And then lift one leg into tabletop and the other leg into tabletop. So what's a little different about this is in melt, we would be doing this more toward neutral. We're going to try this in our imprint. And then if you're feeling good with that, you can allow your pelvis to come kind of to neutral. Also in melt, we have our lower leg relaxed. Here, we're going to keep our leg in tabletop. So take your hands, place them on the front of your thighs, straighten your arms up to create kind of like a little post. So what we want to have happen is we want to have your knees slightly pressing into your heel of your hand. And your hand is basically stopping, or your arm is stopping your knees from coming in towards you. So we're going to hold everything nice and still. So I want you to take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you just to press your thighs into your hands And just feel that connection in your core. That's that isometric contraction. So we're contracting without moving, without lengthening or changing the muscle or shortening the muscle. Inhale to release. Couple more times. We're going to exhale. Inhale to release. And again, exhale. Keep your neck and shoulders fairly relaxed and have the movement come more from deep within your core. Inhale to release. And one more time. I would probably keep more of an imprint than a neutral here, just what I'm feeling in my body. Exhale to release. Inhale, let that go. Let's lower one foot down and then the other. And we're just going to tuck and tilt the pelvis a couple times and just release that tension. Okay, did that feel okay so far? Thumbs up. Anybody feel this in their low back too much? A little bit. So big thing here is just to keep that imprint, okay? And if it's really starting to bug you, you can just let the lower leg relax when you're doing this. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do an opposite. So when we're gonna put our legs in tabletop and we're gonna just take the right hand and put it on the right thigh, okay? So take a breath in, and as you exhale, come into your imprint, lift one leg into tabletop and then the other. So with this one, we're going to add a little bit of movement as well. So I want you to take your right hand and put it across on your left thigh. Take your left hand and put it straight up to the ceiling. So now this is going to be a little more challenging, but I want you to take a breath in, and as you exhale, press your left thigh into your right hand. And then I want you to straighten your right leg and your left arm away and then pull them in. Inhale. Exhale, reach them long. Inhale, bring them in. Exhale, reach them out. Inhale, pull it in 2 more times. Exhale, reach them long. Inhale, pull in. And one more time. Exhale, reach out.
Okay, we'll see you.
Inhale, pull it in. And then we're going to switch sides. Okay, so we're going to reach your left hand to your right leg and right arm up. Catherine, I think maybe your microphone might be on. You can just mute it. All right, so now we're going to switch. So we've got left hand on right thigh, right hand up. Find the connection with your right thigh and your left hand, so many rights and lefts. And we're gonna exhale, reach left leg and right arm out. Inhale, pull them in. Reach arm and leg out. Inhale, pull them in. You're probably feeling a little quiver as you straighten out. Let's do a couple more. Reach out and lift it up. And again, reach out. Lift up. Last one, you guys. Exhale, reach out. And lift up. Let's put your arms down, lower one foot down, and then the other. And I want to just do a little hip lift. So keeping your thighs parallel, let's connect into your glutes, press into your feet, and lift your hips up just to open up and release that tension. And then fold at the hips and lower back down. Press into your feet, lift your hips, fold at the hips to lower down. And one more time, press in, lift up, and lower back down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this movement and we're going to go into our swimming prep. So this is the one, Catherine, I wasn't sure if might be a little tricky up on your knees. So this is one we've done before, but what I'm hoping is that you guys are going to feel even more stable and we can add on our little core element and balance with this. So come on to all fours. All right. So today we're actually going to just go right into the balance work. So we're going to take the right hand and left leg and start with that side, reaching them out. So I want you to take a breath in. As you exhale, reach your right arm out, left leg out, and lift them up. Lower down, and we're going to switch to the opposite side. So I'm hoping that you guys feel that diagonal connection from doing the exercise we just did. Bring the arms and legs down. Exhale, right arm, left leg, reach it out. Remember, we want to find tension in our body. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, reaching out, nice and long. Inhale, bring it all the way in. And again, exhale, right arm, left leg. Inhale, bring it in. And exhale, left arm, right leg, bring it all the way in. So now we're going to add our little core challenge. So we're going to lift your right arm, left leg out. We're going to hold it here, and we're going to do just one side at a time. So I want you to pull your elbow and knee in and lengthen all the way out. So we're going to exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. 3 more times. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. And last one, exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. We're going to switch sides. So right hand down, left knee down. And left arm lift, right arm lift. Take a breath in. As you exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. I find this easiest if I just find a spot to stare at. Pulling in and lengthening out. You can use your sound 3 more times. Feel that connection in your core and find the tension in your body when you reach out. 2 more times, pulling in, reaching out, and again, pull in and reach out. And then let's come out of that. Did anybody find that that was a little more stable for you after doing that isometric work beforehand? Yay, that's what I was hoping. All right, let's grab our ball. If you have an orange ball, let's use the orange ball. Does everybody have the orange one? Yep. Okay, I just find this one's a little cushier. Okay, so let's grab this, and we're going to do our ab series like last week, but we're going to use it on the bigger ball. So we've got our ball. The nice thing about this one, it's a bit bigger. The higher the ball is, the more support you have. The lower it is, the more wobbly it's going to become. So find the position that you feel the best in. I like to kind of have the center of the ball kind of between the bottom of my shoulder blades. Find your neutral pelvis. And we're going to just do a couple nice extension exercises here because we want to make sure that our body gets some extension in it. So let's inhale. Let your elbows come wide. Think wide collarbones. Support your head. And I want you to feel the upper vertebra of your spine extend back and over the ball, a little more than the lower part of your spine. Then nod your head, curl, and come up. Let's try that again. Keep your head well supported. So this is less about your neck extending over the ball and more about your upper back opening and extending. You want to feel a sense of openness through the front of the body. As you exhale, nod your head, curl, and round up. Keep your head heavy in your hands even as you curl up. Inhale, open, extend back. And exhale, little head nod, curl, and round up. Feel that connection into your core. Try that 2 more times. Breathing in, opening up wide, elbows wide, collarbones open. Exhale, little head nod, curling and rounding up. And 1 more time. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, little head nod, curling and rounding. Keep your tailbone nice and anchored here. So we want to make sure we haven't tucked. And then we're just going to come back to neutral and pulse up for 8, 7, just little kind of sit-ups. 5 more. Keep your tailbone anchored. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into your nice big extension. Feel that opening of the upper back. Exhale, little nod, come back just to neutral. So now we're going to do some rotation here, but keep your spine supported in neutral. So I don't want you flexed up. I don't want you extended back. You're right in the middle. We're just going to rotate toward the camera 8 times. So here's what I want you to feel. As you rotate, you're going to get a little more weight on one shoulder blade, the other shoulder blade's coming off. And then you're going to come back to a square position. So think about your spine being a long pole and you're just rotating your ribs toward the camera and then away. If you can, just all come toward the camera. That would be great. So I can see you all. And rotate and back. So this is like doing spine twist, but we're in a supported position. And rotate and back. Let's do 3 more. Feel that spine stay long, and we're rotating toward the camera and back. Last 2. This is getting our obliques working. Rotate and back. And one more time to this side. We're going to rotate. Come back to center. Let's go into a nice extension. Inhale, open up. You might find that one side feels different than the other. Mine sure does. Come back to your center position. So now we're going to do the same thing, rotating away from the camera. So you're neutral. You're going to just rotate as you exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Rotate. Inhale, back to center. Let's do that a few more times. Feel like your spine is growing long and tall as your ribs rotate around. And let's do 3 more. Coming back to center. And 2. Back to center. And last 1. Back to center. And let's extend all the way back. I love doing lots of these extension moves. It just feels so good. Nod your head, curl, and round up. Let's keep our neutral pelvis, but lift your right leg into tabletop. Your right arm is going to come down by your side as well. So for this one, we're going to go into our oblique move. We're going to challenge those oblique muscles. So lifting up and across and lower back down, keeping your leg nice and stable. Think about your body lifting off the ball. Okay, so lift left shoulder to right thigh. The nice thing about this orange ball is it lifts you up a little higher and you can really feel that lift across. Keep your pelvis neutral. Use your exhale. And let's do a few more. Let's pull the knee in towards you. And as you find your neutral upper body, lengthen your leg out. Pull in. Lengthen out. Pull in, lengthen out for 3 more, and out, 2 more, and out, and last one. And out, lower that right foot down, both hands behind your head, nice extension back. Nod your head, curl up, left leg tabletop, left hand onto the floor. So neutral to start, take a breath in, exhale, reach up and across, inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, up and across, inhale, back to neutral. Feel your right shoulder lift towards your left thigh. Your elbow is just staying in your periphery. So your rotation is coming from the body for 4 more. Keep the leg nice and still. 3 more. Looking good, you guys. 2 more. And on the next one, we're going to pull the knee in, lengthen all the way out, leg extends. Pull in and across, reaching out. For 4 more. 3 more. 2. And last one. Lower your left foot down, both hands behind your head. Keep your head well supported. Inhale, extend and open back. Hopefully the front of your chest is feeling a little less tight. I know mine sure is. Take one more breath in and out. And on the exhale, let's roll up. Come to a seated position. And we just have one more move we're going to do to finish our time off together. And that is going to be to sit cross-legged on your band. If you want to have your hips lifted on a cushion, go ahead. I'm just going to go without for now. And we're just going to go into a little side bend with our band. So you want to be able to probably hold closer to the end of your band because we want to be able to lift it up towards the ceiling. And then when you come into your side bend, I want you to find the tension in the band. Okay, so we want to make sure we're holding up enough. Yeah, so give it a test. Make sure you can feel enough tension as well. Okay, so let's just start off with, let's do your right hand first. So we're going to lift the right arm up to the sky. You're going to use your left hand to support you. Lengthen up and over to the side. Feel the tension in the band. Restack your spine, lower your arm down. Inhale, let's go to the opposite side. Lift the left arm up. Coming up and over to the side. Hopefully your band, so if you're rotating forward, your band might come forward. I want you to try and have your band come right across the side of your body. Lengthen up if you can, lower down. Other side, arm comes up and over to the side. Restack your spine and down. So I want you to get the sense as you're coming over to the side that your spine is lengthening up, just like you're lifting in the band, you're lifting up and over with your spine. So you're getting that side bend with kind of a traction feeling. Lengthen up and down. This is some of the moves where Pilates is going to help you feel taller. Inhale, arm comes up and over. And then restack and lower down. So there you go, guys.